Hi, this is Elizabeth from the Toy Hoarder, and today I have with me the brand new Toy Story 4 Buzz Lightyear with Interactive Drop-Down Action. Okay, this is actually a belated birthday present, and I've had it for a couple days now, just sitting on the table waiting for me to open it, and it's been driving me insane, so I gotta do an unboxing with you guys because I'm gonna lose my mind. I need to play with it. Okay, let's get it open. First, I should tell you, there's a piece of tape at the very top of this box and one at the very bottom. Other than that, it's not really heavily sealed. It should be pretty easy to get at least the inner packaging outside of the box. But I'm going to show you guys the sides of the box here, and if there's anything that you'd like to read, feel free to pause the video at any time to read anything that you may have missed. I'm not going to read it to you because I really just want to get him out and show you what he does and play with him. But here's what we're looking at on all the sides. The top just says Toy Story 4, and then bottom has some unexciting information. Okay, so as I said, the two pieces of tape, so we're just going to cut that off right here. And we should be able to, oh, there's this cardboard piece stuck a little bit here. There we go. Oh, well that's weird, guys. There's an odd little fold here on that side. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, that's a thing. So we should be able to slide out Buzz and the rest of this little cardboard piece. Oh, sorry, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I'm just pulling him straight out like this. And he is excited and knows he's out of the box. Okay, I actually probably just hit a button while I pulled him out. There's a couple different papers in here. This one it follows all these legal rules. No one really cares. We're throwing that. Here's the actual instruction booklet. It should tell you how to get him into all his different modes. This guy has over 65 sayings, and he's got several different modes, like a play mode and a live mode, etc. So when he's a toy, he'll be able to know that someone's coming and drop down, and when he's not in toy mode, he'll be able to talk to you, move his head, and etc, etc, etc. I'll show you what sides of the box are looking like here. We've got a lot of tape over all of the different packaging components, but it still doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. He's got a main zip tie around his waist, which he did have in the movie too, guys. And then he's got rope zip ties. Oh no, I'm holding it upside down. He's got rope zip ties on each of his hands, and that honestly looks like about it. This thing is attached in here with one of those, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what it's called. There's a little plastic piece that you twist off on this end and it comes off on the other end, and it looks like his feet are attached the same way. So I guess first things first is we're gonna want to loosen up this tape that's happening here. I have a bigger pair of scissors for this too. I don't really know what we're gonna need here, but for some reason this extra hunk of cardboard is taped here. I don't know, you guys. I cut it off. I don't know. Once you kind of get some of it, a lot of it should just come off. And sometimes what I like to do is just cut around the pieces that I know I need to get out. And then usually they'll come out without ripping all the tape off. So like these little plastic tabs, just cut them out. And now they'll flip up, and now it'll come back through the other side like it's supposed to. This gets a little weirder because we've got a couple different plastic tabs on this one. Yeah. Anyway, it's a lot more extensive of a get the toy out project than several other of the Toy Story toys, but I guess this is, I pushed a little bit too hard. I guess this is a little bit more intensive and expensive of a toy, so they don't want you to get it out in the store and then I don't really know how you would steal it anyway. It's huge. But kids, this is a project for dad. At least that's how it always went in my household, but if your moms will do it, have at it. Alright. I hated getting a toy for birthday or Christmas and then no one wants to open it for you and you can't get it out of all of the intensive packaging. Alright, so here's those weird plastic things. They should just pop right out once you loosen them. And then I already cut this out. I need to cut out this zip tie here so that I can take that piece out. Alright, now I should be able to snip the zip tie. And you're going to want a big pair of scissors for this one because this is a really... Okay, hold on, Buzz. A really thick zip tie. I don't want him to fall out of the box, but he does have his arm My bad. I'll get that. Anyway. Okay, yes, I know, Buzz. I'm working on it. Let me get this piece of cardboard off of here. It's taped to the bottom of the plastic section, too. Alright. Alright, we're making progress, people. I'm gonna untie this. This is not an actual twist tie. These rope things are... Hey, Buzz, I'm sorry. I'm working on it. They're just tied in here. They're not... There's no wire in it. It's just a little piece of rope and this thing. Okay. Oh, we got this side. We gotta get... Be very careful if you're doing this at home. Ask for an adult's help if you are a child, because it's really not worth cutting yourself. I promise. Alright. These are those little plastic things. You should be able to spin them a little bit and then pop them out. This is where the wing pack is attached, so make sure you're holding your hand underneath so it doesn't fall. And there's the jetpack. That is out now. Extra piece of cardboard. Gotta get his feet out, so I'm gonna cut right around these. I guess I can show it this way so you guys can see it. Make sure I cut around these so that I can access them. Sometimes it's just easier for me to take off the little piece of tape that I just cut out. Alright, I kind of hate these things, but twist it a little bit and then pull it, and it should come out. I'm getting all these extra little cardboard. I'm making a mess! Alright, twist. Sometimes they're difficult to get started. There we go. I got this one started a little. Okay. It's in an awkward position because of this piece of cardboard, but there we go. Alright, now be careful because Buzz's feet are now detached. I already undid one of his hands. Oh, okay. Guys, surprise! His other twist tie is under here. Well, rope. Tied rope thing? I don't know. It's kind of terrible that they tie him up in the box, you know? So I'm just going to cut this hunk of the box apart. I'm not keeping this box. I mean, it's a fun background, I guess, but I have no use for it. Alright, there you go. Now you've exposed his little rope tie. You can untie that or just cut it with scissors, whatever you feel is the best plan for that. Usually they're a little bit looser to get undone. There we go. Oh. Dropping pieces. Remind me to go get that one that flew away too. Okay. He's free! Oh, one of your wings popped out. Sorry about that. Got a little plastic piece in here that kind of holds him in place. I don't know if you can really see it, but right here there's a big plastic hunk that he sits in so that he doesn't shift too much against the box. I am going to eliminate this from my workspace here. Also, I got a couple of padded placemats in here because this has the drop-down action and he's made entirely of plastic, and I'm working on a hardwood table right here, which you can't really hear that well, but I'm working on a solid hardwood table and I really don't want to scratch him up or break him or mess up the table. So got a couple of those for when I play with him. He should have some batteries in him now. And now before you actually forever play with him, you're going to want to take the batteries out. If you press this button on the front, this is what launches his wings. Oh, okay. It doesn't launch his wings in this version, but undo his wings and there's a piece of plastic in here randomly. Okay, take that out. This is how you get the batteries in and out. You're going to want to switch out the batteries that came in it because they will die a lot sooner and they are a lot more likely to explode or corrode and have issues. This is an expensive toy. You don't want him all corroded in there. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get that all cleaned up. Okay, yes, Buzz. So, alright, this is going to be very difficult to show. Just underneath him.
I am Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying not to hit the buttons, I promise. Okay, right under here is where you're going to find the switch to turn him off or to try me or play. He's going to automatically be on try me mode. I don't know if you guys can see this. He's going to automatically be on try me mode when you open him from the box. So flip the switch all the way up into play mode. The middle of the switch is off, and then the top one is play, and it's labeled on there. It's just really hard to see on here. I'm kind of sad that they didn't put Andy on the bottom of his foot, and he doesn't have any wheels, it looks like. Now, as far as articulation on this toy, his knees do not bend, but that should be pretty expected. This toy has drop-down action, which also means this toy has to stand up on its own. If he had bendy knees, I don't know if you guys have played with any of the other Buzz toys, but you have to bend his knees just right to get him to stand. This would be a pain in the butt toy to have drop-down action on if his knees actually bent. So I'm actually excited that he does not have knee joints. I know that's been a negative in other people's reviews, but I think that makes the most logical sense here. Now, he's got shoulder joints, he's got elbow joints, his wrist twists, I guess. His fingers don't move, actually, in this one. Sometimes he's got these four will move and the thumb will move. It almost looks like they do, but they do not. And he, on this side, has his elbow joint and not much of the shoulder joint. I think he is supposed to keep his arm mostly up. Well, I guess no, they're only rotating. They're not an actual ball joint. You can't raise his arms any higher than this, but they do rotate. And this looks like a button, but is not actually a button, and you can see that it's not clear right here on his wrist either, so that's not where the actual laser function is, because this is a different type of toy. Oh, and I will show you this too. This backpack piece, super simple. See the three clips that come out, the three gray pieces? There's one right here, and I'm trying to feel them on the back right here. Well, actually, that third one flips in. I don't really know why we have that. But the top two go right in here at the back of the backpack. So just line up the joints and snap it in place. I had my finger over the buttons when I did that, but now he's going to talk to me, and depending on how long you hold these buttons and which buttons you press, will go into different modes.
Okay, got it.
And so there's his drop-down action. Okay guys, so I was going to do the training mode without you, but then I figured some people might actually want to know how to use this training mode so that you can set him up for your child or with your child or as an adult, because, you know, I don't have a child and I'm going to play with it. So, okay, it says that you are going to hold down the blue button for 3 seconds to enter training mode. And now before I do this, let me tell you what he's going to do, because he's going to be listening to what I'm saying. So he's going to tell you to repeat the phrase. He's going to say the phrase, and you have to repeat it back to him. He's got 4 different phrases that you need to learn to say, and each phrase you will have to say correctly 2 times before he will go through the whole training mode successfully. If you say the same phrase wrong 5 times in a row, he will automatically exit training mode and you'll have to try again. So hopefully this will go okay. We're gonna see what happens. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It's playtime, Cadet. That means getting to know some rules and regulations. So I'll say something and you say it back. Got it? Good. Here we go. Hello, buddy.
Hello, buddy.
Right. One more time, please. Hello, buddy.
Hello, buddy.
Perfect. Here comes the next one. Someone's coming.
Someone's coming.
Right. One more time, please. Someone's coming.
Someone's coming.
Perfect. Here comes the next one. Quiet. Go to sleep.
Quiet. Go to sleep.
Right. One more time, please. Quiet. Go to sleep.
Quiet. Go to sleep.
Perfect. Here comes the next one. Okay, no one's here.
Okay, no one's here.
Right. One more time, please. Okay, no one's here.
Okay, no one's here.
Perfect. Training completed. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. That went a lot smoother than I expected it to. Tips for this is try to be in a quiet environment if possible, and try not to have anyone else say anything while you're trying to do this. Make sure your voice is clear and loud so that he can hear you. Try not to mumble or slur your words, but he should be able to understand you pretty well. These are high-tech enough toys that it should be good. Okay, now he has 3 different colored buttons on his chest. If you press the red or green buttons, he would, well actually, okay, what I've noticed is if you press the green button, that's when he does his drop-down action on his own and switches into toy mode. If you press the red button, you'll hear phrases, and if you press the blue button, you'll also hear phrases. I believe the blue button is his toy mode phrases. Yes, this is his toy mode phrases. So I'll do his toy mode phrases first so he doesn't fall down. I've also got some padded, I was going to say pillows, placemats. I've got some padded placemats behind him just in case because I'm on a wood table, but here we go.
This is an intergalactic emergency. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue! I protect the galaxy from the threat of invasion. To infinity and beyond! I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace.
And now you'll notice while he's saying all of these phrases, this is his toy mode, which means his head is not moving. I mean, his mouth and eyes obviously don't move in the live action mode either, but he is going to act like a toy, an action figure toy. When he's in the live action mode, his head will move and he will be more alive, so to speak. Now, also, if you are wondering if this is the Buzz Lightyear that you have, since a lot of them look very similar, for him to be an interactive one, he has a little hole right here where his sensor is. So that means he's the drop-down action one. There are some other interactive ones that have a hole somewhere right in the middle of the neck, some of the older toys, and they're usually the interactive ones that talk to each other. Sometimes there's a hole a little bit lower, depending on what type of interaction. But for the drop-down interactive, this hole is right here in the middle of his little space badge, which I kind of dislike because I feel like it's really obvious, but that might just be me. Okay, let's hear a couple more of his toy mode phrases.
This is an intergalactic emergency. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue! I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace. I protect the galaxy from the threat of invasion.
So basically all his standard phrases. I'll show you some of the live modes.
Hello, buddy.
So now you can see his head is moving and he's talking directly to you.
Someone's coming. I knew it.
Uh-oh. So either the red or the green one can actually activate his drop down, but he should be able to tell that he's laying down and he will ask you to help him up. So let's see if he does that. Hey, buddy. Oh, I think it's hello, buddy.
Phew. That was a close one. Would you mind helping me up?
Yep, see, so he knows he's laying down, and he can't get up on his own because, well, he's just heavy. He's like a turtle. Although that would be kind of great if he rolled around a little bit attempting to get up. But apparently not. Well, I tell you guys this, I'm going to hold him up so that he doesn't react when I say this. But if he has 4 different phrases that you can say to activate him into different things. If you say either someone's coming or quiet, go to sleep, he will recognize that, drop down, and go into his toy mode, and he'll go silent for a couple seconds while someone comes in the room. If you say hello buddy or okay no one's here, he will snap out of toy mode and go back into live action mode. He also will probably ask you to pick him up if he is laying down. If you want to switch him between toy and talk mode without saying those phrases, you can press some of the buttons on his chest. If you're in toy mode, you press the red or green buttons 2 times, or say either of those 2 phrases, the hello buddy or okay no one's here. And if you're in talk mode, then you say quiet, go to sleep, or someone's coming, or you can press the red or the red or green 1 time to switch it to the other mode. Buzz has 4 commands that you can tell him, and he will actually respond with different sayings before he carries out the command. So let's test that. Someone's coming.
Okay, got it.
Alright, and then to wake him back up, we can say, okay, no one's here.
Phew. That was a close one. Would you mind helping me up?
And then, of course, he knows that he is laying down.
It is great to see you, my friend.
And he even appreciates you helping him back up. Okay, so let's try another one. Quiet, go to sleep. Quiet, go to sleep.
Copy that. I'm looking forward to a little R&R anyway.
Oh, gosh, he falls with such a thud. Oh, wait, I gotta wake him up. Let's see, the other phrase is... hello, buddy.
Yep, looks like everything is back to normal. Finally. Now, could you help me up? I seem to be a little stuck. Thanks. Have you seen Sheriff Woody?
Okay, so those are his 4 phrases. You can also switch him back and forth between modes with the buttons. As far as articulation that I did not discuss, his helmet does come down, not with one of the buttons on the side, but you can manually push his helmet down. Same thing with the wings. You can push them in and then down, and then of course out and all the way out again. And I have a 12-inch ruler that I will put in here just to give you kind of an idea what we're looking at on height. So he is pretty big. He's made out of lightweight plastic, but there's a lot of mechanisms inside his upper body, so it's real heavy on his upper half. And it has to be as well for the drop-down action, because if you see when he drops down, he bends at the waist, and that changes his center of gravity and causes him to fall all the way down. He does actually have a little bit of twist in his waist as well, but not a whole lot here, and in his head as well. But you don't want to push on those too much, because those are automatic features that he will do when you press certain buttons and when he has certain phrases, or when he's ready to do the drop-down action. Alright, so overview of the pros and cons. The pros are all the features that he does have. The drop-down action is super fun every time. Someone's coming.
I knew it.
There he goes. Woo! So he's kind of heavy, so he makes a pretty big thud. If you're going to be playing with him, make sure that you have him on a soft surface or on a surface that's not going to scratch. I put some placemats underneath so that he would be good as far as that. I love that he has 4 different voice commands, so he can actually kind of interact with you or with a child that you gift this to. He has 2 different modes, a toy mode and a talk mode. So he says all the classic Buzz Lightyear phrases, and he also talks directly to you, which is really fun. He has over 65 sayings, and his voice is super clear and at a good volume. It's not crazy loud or crazy quiet. I think it's just perfect where they did the volume on him. I love that he knows when he's laying down and he asks for help. I think it would have been kind of funny if there was a way that he could kind of roll a little and get back up, but realistically, that's not a potential move. I also love that in live mode his head turns, so he actually does sort of come alive in that way. As far as cons, there are a couple of small things. Like, I'm kind of sad that the wings don't pop out with a button anymore, but it makes sense because of all the mechanisms that are inside his chest. There's not really room to put the large mechanism to make it pop out from the button. So at least they didn't eliminate the wings altogether, which they could have done, and I would have been super, super, super sad. So that's still able to be accessed manually and still looks super cool on the figure. The ones that I really wish they had added that I don't know why they took out of this figure, though, are that they're no longer... The laser button on his arm here is not actually a button anymore, and the laser is no longer a laser, since most of that wiring was inside the arm for the laser noise and the little red blinking light. I don't know why they couldn't just have had that in this toy, as well as the wrist communicator that popped up on his other arm. It no longer opens. I mean, it didn't do anything, but at least it opened up and there was a little sticker inside of there. Also, they could have written either Andy or Bonnie on the bottom of his feet, or even both would have been super cute, since he was specifically a Toy Story 4 toy. Also, there's no glow-in-the-dark paint on this one, which for a $70 MSRP, I feel like they could have coated the green parts at least in some glow-in-the-dark paint, and that could have really added to how cool he was. I mean, I understand that they couldn't add the wing lights probably because they didn't have room in the chest, but I would have liked to have seen a couple of those things added that wouldn't be too bad. I'm also kind of disappointed that with him being so heavy and being made of this cheaper plastic, he scratches super easily. You have to be really careful where you're playing with him on those surfaces. And I also really dislike the placement of this sensor. I wish it had somehow at least been centered, or they tried to kind of hide it or something, but I feel like it's right smack dab in the middle of a super light area where there's a black hole right in the center of his chest. So, kind of disappointed in that, but for the lack of features that we lost with the $70 MSRP, I knocked it down a star, but it was still really fun for all the features that it does have, so still a 4-star toy. He's really, really cool and a recommended purchase, but perhaps not at the $70 MSRP. So, let me know what you guys think. Post in the comments, and like or subscribe if you enjoyed it. Have fun. Bye.